So I'm not one of those people who will argue who the best is at this or that, but when it comes to who's arguably the best blues rock guitarist of all time, well, my choice is always Gary Moore. So in 1990, I was gifted the Still Got the Blues cassette, and my mind was completely blown and my guitar playing life was forever changed. Here we go! I'd never really heard anyone play blues like that, but I knew I wanted to. What immediately comes to mind with Gary and his playing is his immeasurable amount of passion that he played with, and it really fueled his attack on the guitar, his tone, and of course his signature vibrato. Gary obviously took a major detour from his past with Thin Lizzy and his solo rock records to devote his career to the blues and his signature blues rock sound. And the thing that I always loved about what Gary did is similar to like the Stones, Zeppelin, Rory Gallagher, Clapton, they always shined a light on the greats that really made this musical possible for them.
You got a lot of fire behind it, you know? It's a rock blues. That's what you call a rock blues. Because Gary's known to play rock anyway. And he mixing it. That's what makes it sound good.
And just like all those other great British blues acts, Gary would continue to introduce new crowds and new fans to the likes of Albert Collins, Albert King, B.B. King, of course, and a whole lot more. One of the songs I really loved off the Still Got the Blues record was the tune Walkin By Myself by Jimmy Rogers. So we're going to break down the first 12 bars of that solo. It contains a lot of Gary Mooreisms, which is why I really like it and I like to teach it. I think just getting a handle on some of these little techniques that he uses will give you more of a passkey into his ferocious blues playing. So before we jump into the lesson, let's talk a little bit about the gear that I'm using. This is an Epiphone limited edition 1959 model, and a lot of you have been asking about this guitar. So when I told my friends at Sweetwater that was the case, they said, we're gonna send you one and we'll sponsor the video. So thanks to Sweetwater for helping us out with this one. So companies like Gibson will do this from time to time, where they take an instrument of this price point and they'll start to kind of upgrade it a little bit with some custom shop electronics. They got the burst bucker pickups. This is a satin finish. I think it's kind of like their VOS finish. And it's in dark burst. It's a great looking color, and it's got the classic sort of smaller old headstock like my 61 Casino. Love that. The pickups sound really good, and I'm going directly into my Marshall reissue silver Jubilee amplifier. I have it cranked. The gain is just about pegged, so I could really get all of that sort of quasi Gary Moore tone. I'll put links for everything below so you can check this guitar out as well as the Marshall, and of course I'll include a tab for these 12 bars that we're going to work on and a backing track so you can play along and get your Gary Moore on all day long. All right, so let's break down those 12 bars of Gary's Walkin By Myself solo. Great stuff in here, and I think you're going to be able to use a lot of it to kind of expand your playing and add some Gary Moore stuff to your bag as well. So we're playing a blues in E, so think about E7, A7, and B7, but there's a lot of this sort of going on. That's really what the rhythm is based off on the guitar. But what he does, before we get into the solo, is he does a really cool turnaround thing that I added to the track because I want you to be able to practice that too, where he's going to approach the 5 chord chromatically from G sharp, A sharp, B, then he goes D, B, and that's all on the 6th and 5th strings. So he goes, but he adds something to it, and most guitar players do this when they're playing in the key of E because they can make it feel really good by doing this. We're gonna play an open E between each one of those notes. So we're gonna start open 6th string, then go to the G sharp and pull off, and then do the same thing on the 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, and then finish it off with the DB, a 3, 4, 1. And adding that E really gives us more of a blues 8th note feel, shuffle 8th note, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. As opposed to going 3, 4, 1. It's got way more swing and swagger doing the open with the open string. And it really makes it groove. So we want to make sure we do that as well. So open 6, and then just hammer on all the way up to the B. But when you get good at it, make it subtle. As opposed to, you don't want that, okay? So that's how we're gonna get into the turnaround. Now we're back at the top of the form to play the solo. So it's a blues in E. We're gonna be playing a lot of E minor pentatonic. Get prepared here in the 4th pattern. And what we're gonna do is start with a bend on the 2nd string, 10th fret. Whole step bend, bending from an A to a B, and commonly in this kind of playing, you're bending to a note and then you're gonna fret the note that you're bending to. So you're bending to a B, and then you jump off and you play it. So bend on the 2nd string, play on the 1st string. That's how he sets it up. Down to the G on the 2nd string, back to the A, and then to the E on the 3rd string. Finish it off right there with that G. That's the 1st lick. And if you do the bend right, that 2nd string mutes itself right into the 1st finger right there. Now what we do, we play off of that with the 2nd lick. So the 1st one, 2nd. I'm going to go through this a little quickly because we don't want an hour-long YouTube video, and you have the tab, so you guys can figure some of this out as well. And it's best to kind of find your own way lots of times too. I can't make you play it a certain way, but I can give you tips, and that's what we're doing here. So the first 2 licks, 3, 4. Straight out of E minor pentatonic, all good stuff. Now he's gonna add some more of that sort of rock stuff in it by doing some palm muting. We're still thinking E minor pentatonic, but this is adding the blue note or the flat 5. Really fun stuff there. Start on the D, 3rd string, 7th fret. 9, 8, 7. And you wanna play, probably mute more of the 4th string than the 3rd. And what I do for muting is I like to play right where the string meets the saddle. You can hear that that D note doesn't have as much pressure on it as the 4th string does in those notes that are on it. So play that. If you need to do that to get the notes, great, but then I want you to add your palm muting. Fleshy part of your hand where the string meets the saddle. Notice how I'm alternate picking all the time. You're never gonna get that speed that Gary has without it. When he comes out of the palm muting riff, you're gonna play G, A, still minor pentatonic, pattern 3, little grace note slide from the 8th fret down to the 7th. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're not really even playing that note. You're just kind of sliding into the 7th from above on the 8th fret. That's all pentatonic right there. I'm not going to spell it out. It's in the tab. Now he does this. And he does a massive amount of vibrato from the E, G, E, G. And he really goes for it. If I'm digging into it. So from there, if you haven't got your vibrato down, I've done some videos on YouTube about it. You really want to make sure you have a solid handle on vibrato. That's a huge part of Gary's attack and so many other great players. But what he's going to do now is approach the 5 chord in a really cool way, diving back into his hammer-on and pull-off rock world, and do this thing. And what's cool about that is he's targeting chord tones of the B7 that's going to come by in the progression. So he's a B note, right? 2nd string, can't lose with that. He goes and hammer-ons between that and the D sharp on the 4th string. And it's a trill, essentially. And the way we should think about trills is, how are we getting to a note from beat to beat? And that's what I'm going to explain as we add the targeted notes here. So second string, 4th fret. That's the first one. The next one is an E. The last one is the F sharp. So he sets it up from the 3rd, walking up to the 5th of that chord. Really, really cool way to do that using his, rock hammer-ons. Now, you're gonna say, how many trills should I be doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't do that. Think about it in beats. That happens over a measure. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. See how it's broken up into beats? I'm 2 beats on the D sharp, 1 beat on the E and F sharp. It's hard to do slow to get that hammer on really happening, but I'll try. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, sorry. A 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see that I'm breaking it up into beats. 2 beats here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you get to that 4th beat and that F sharp there, he gets out of it, hits the low 6th string to set himself up for some nice pentatonic home bass kind of stuff in pattern 1 there on the 12th and 15th frets. So once he does the hammer-on trill idea, he goes to a double stop here on the 15th and 12th frets. That's right inside pentatonic 1. And what he's going to do is when he plays that, he kind of bends that 15th fret up ever so much, ever so slightly. Imagine you're trying to play a whole step bend, but you never get there. Then you're going to play the 1st and 2nd strings on the 12th fret. Now that happens really fast, and if you can't get to that double stop, that's okay. I don't always get there. You can do this. Just play the single notes. Bend up on the 15th. Classic blues rock idea there. And he finishes it off in that manner, going on the 14th fret, 3rd string. Another classic blues rock kind of idea. Bend up as if you're going for a whole step bend on the 14th. All one motion, bend up, release, pull off, 4th string, 14th fret. You can hear how these pieces make up their own licks on their own. All that stuff is how these greats put it all together, right? All those little ideas. Now go back to the 14th, 3rd fret, back to the 14th, 4th string. I don't know what I'm saying. Back to the 14th, 3rd string, not 3rd fret. So back to the 14th, 3rd string, back to the 14th, 4th string, 12th fret, 3rd string, 14th, 14th on the 5th string. Because that's where the B7 comes around. Yeah, so if we start from the turnaround, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now you see there, I didn't get the double stop. It happened so fast. Sometimes I'll get it and sometimes I won't. But we're digging into the elements of Gary Moore here. And that's a lot of it right there in 12 bars. So there you have it, 12 killer bars of blues rock soloing from the one and only Gary Moore. That record changed my life. I love that solo, and there's just so much you could sink your teeth into from top to bottom on that whole record. Don't forget to grab the track and the tab for free, as well as links to check out the gear we talked about. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if the video was helpful for you, because it helps us out and we love to keep bringing you great videos and demos. All right, we'll see you guys next time.